Welcome to the Quiet Gym, where the game is broken down one possession, one adjustment, one idea at a time. A place where basketball is studied, not shouted about. Before we get started, today's episode is brought to you by Rock Bottom Reset, helping people rebuild discipline, confidence, and purpose one day at a time. Visit rockbottomreset.com to learn more. And now, here's your host, Wyatt Prater.
Welcome back to the gym. I'm Wyatt. This is Resto. Today we have a topic that is a little different than what we've normally done, but we're going to be naming breakout players for each NBA team. We're going to talk about who the breakout player was last year, who their breakout player is going to be this year, and then we're kind of going to go through each team and talk about their ceiling for this next year and then their floor. We've had a lot of predictions on here already, so you guys probably already know a lot of what we're about to say. But if you're new, you're going to have all new takes. And even if you're not new, you're going to hear our breakout players. And we haven't talked about every team. We've talked about the Lakers a lot. We've talked about who's another team?
Pacers,
Timberwolves,
Spurs.
Pacers, Spurs, right? But a lot we haven't talked about what's like the Nets. We haven't really talked about them. So no one wants to hear about the Nets, of course, other than Nets fans. But no hate, but like a good team, like the Magic. We haven't talked about the Magic, and they're a playoff team.
Mhm.
So do you want to go out and? Well, actually, I want to ask you a question first. Do you think a breakout player can be a rookie?
Yes and no. I don't think I'd call a breakout. I don't think rookie and breakout player are like kind of the same thing. I'd say if a rookie has a very, very, very good rookie year, I'd say it's equivalent to a breakout year. You'll see later in this how like I'll use that for example. But I would say it's not the same thing, but I say there's parts where it could be equivalent to it.
Okay, yeah, I kind of agree with you. I think if a rookie like outplays his pick, it could be kind of a breakout player. I didn't put any breakout players on mine. You said you did, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, if I was, I just didn't think you would, so I didn't. But since you did, I'm gonna mention some too. But it will probably have a lot of the same. So would you like to start the first team, which is the Atlanta Hawks?
Yeah, I can.
Go ahead and say last year. Talk about last
Okay.
year.
So last year my player was Nikhil Alexander Walker. Obviously he won most improved player. I think he was really deserving of it. I think it's pretty obvious who was the most improved player from a team if he won the award. So you can't really go wrong with that. But in my opinion, he got better all the way around. I think he really shined because Dyson Daniels didn't.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Like, obviously, he won the award. I also shout out Jalen Johnson. He had a huge step last year as well. As you guys know, we both love Jalen Johnson. Defensively was kind of a struggle, but for Nikhil, he was definitely one of the things that stood out was his shooting, his scoring. He was efficient, and he honestly took more of a step than I thought he would. The year before, he was on Minnesota, and he was a big part of what they did in the playoffs, but he wasn't anything like he was the year prior. So he definitely the pinnacle of a breakout player. But who did you say for next year's for Atlanta?
So next year I put Ryan Nimhard. He looked really good in Dallas. He kind of was a surprise pick because no one really saw him playing as good as what he did. And then he got traded this offseason. And I think Atlanta's really going to give him that chance. Obviously, they lost Trae Young. I think they're going to look for that guard that's kind of like ball heavy, trying to dish out the ball. And I think Ryan Nimhard fits very good in that spot.
Yeah. I don't actually hate that pick. I loved Ryan Nembhard at Zaga, but I went and picked Aaron Wiggins. I think a player who's gets kind of under the radar because they're on such a good team. As soon as they go to a better or like not as good team, which is a better situation probably for him, especially since they lack wing depth. I think he'll fit in well there. I don't mind the Ryan Nembhard pick though. I think that's a great pick.
So next we got the Boston Celtics.
Let's talk about the ceiling.
Oh, my bad.
No, you
For Ryan Nimhard.
for Atlanta.
Okay, so I could really see Atlanta being around like ceiling like 3 seed, which that's like if everything's clicking, they play how they did at the end of the year last year. I think they could be a 3 seed. Floor, I could see them being like an 8-9 seed. I feel like the East is very strong this year, but I feel like there are still a few teams in the East that are very weak. I feel like Atlanta won't be that bad. And assuming like the injury bug doesn't get to them, I think the worst they can only do is like an 8 or 9 seed, to be completely honest.
Yeah, I have to agree. Probably ceiling would be like a 3 seed, and then floor I'd say playing. Simple as that. I think a lot of these teams, as floors, are going to be playing when you go to playoff teams. All right, I'll go ahead and do the next team. So our next team, we're going in alphabetical order. So the Boston Celtics. Last year, I think it's pretty easy to say who last year's was, and I said Nimaskita. You didn't say that?
I actually did not say that.
What'd you say?
I said Peyton Pritchard.
I figured you would say if you didn't say. And Peyton Pritchard's not bad. He definitely improved.
I think
We
there's,
saw flashes.
I think there's a reason behind this. Well, you go
there
first.
was more flashes.
You say yours. and I'll
Okay,
say
okay. I was gonna say there was flashes of Pritchard the year before, and to me, Nimaskita, the year before last year was like a 13th to 14th guy on their roster, and then because he had opportunity, he became that starter kind of by default. But he flourished in that role. He was one of the most efficient players in the league, probably one of the best rim protectors in the game now. So I gotta give my shouts to Nimaskita. I think he played well in his role, and obviously this year he's gonna have less of a role with Mitchell Robinson, but definitely I thought last year he was their standout breakout player.
I agree. Mine was Peyton Pritchard. For me, Peyton Pritchard showed a little bit of consistency, which is kind of what he's needed in his career because, a few years ago he was fighting for Sixth Man of the Year. But to me, the Celtics felt comfortable to deal Jaylen Brown because they felt confident in Peyton Pritchard. And that to me makes him feel like he's most improved because the front office has enough confidence to move their MVP frontrunner for Peyton Pritchard. And to me, that is why he's the most improved on the Celtics.
I don't mind that. I just thought his leap or Kita's leap was bigger.
Yeah, it might have been, but I think that's
Pritchard's a more important player.
Mm-hmm.
So it just depends on how you look at it. So I'm not going to here to argue that because they both had breakout years, to be honest with you. But when you have a guy, Jason Tatum, who goes out for almost the entire year, a lot of your guys should break out. And then for this next upcoming, I'd be shocked if you have this guy, but I hope you do. I had Hugo Gonzalez.
I didn't. I want another guard.
Okay, would Baylor Retirement?
Yep.
Okay, I debated between those two,
I want Baylor.
and I don't think it'll be both of them. I think it'd be one or the other. Hugo showed a lot of potential last year, and Baylor also did too, but definitely kind of similar. Hugo's got a little bit more length, and so I kind of picked him. He's a little bit more athletic, but I love Baylor at Creighton. Both of these guys kind of had limited roles last year, but I picked Hugo because he's a good shooter, and I think this is going into his second year. We don't see a lot of foreigners actually have great years to begin with, especially guys that are picked outside of the lottery. Like usually, if we do, it's like a Luka, it's like a Giannis. It's like Giannis was in the lottery, but he was damn close. But it's guys that were picked high, and Hugo was a low first round pick, and I think he was the 27th pick if I'm not mistaken, and he kind of overshined what he was supposed to do. I mean, I'm a Spurs fan, so when I think of foreign players that are picked around there, I think of Juan Nunez, who we drafted, and then he just never played one game in the NBA. And then like there's other players that are down there. Like did the Pacers have one not that long ago? I feel like they did. That was high second round. That was a foreigner that just didn't work out for him. I could be wrong though. Maybe I'm thinking of another team, but it happens to every team. And Hugo actually had a really good year last year, and I just think he's a little younger, so I just picked Hugo. That was kind of my reasoning, was just he's younger.
So for the Nets, honestly, not gonna lie, didn't really know who to pick, but I went with Michael Porter Jr. I feel like he's just getting more freedom in his game, and I feel like that's what works for him.
Yeah, that's the clear cut.
I mean, I don't really think there's much explaining that. And then for this year, I got Edgar Demon. Yeah, I picked him. I don't think he was bad last year. I think he showed a little flashes. I don't know if like starting right away was the right idea for him, but Brooklyn didn't really have a point guard, so they kind of had to put him out there. And I think he towards the end of the year, the last 20 games, he got a lot more comfortable, and I think he kind of knows what to expect. He's been in the league for a year now, and I think he'll take a little bit of a good some progress here. But I also could see this big step coming in a year or two. Maybe not next year, but I think he has the best potential out there.
Yeah, we had the same pick. MPJ just went from a role player in Denver, which a pretty good one, like a
Yeah.
really good one, but to a guy who's scoring 25 points a game. So breakout player, of course. And then I also picked Agor Denim.
Yeah.
Um, I like his game. He's a good shooter, and honestly, he wasn't really that great of a shooter when he came into the league. And then when he started playing games, he became a better shooter, and I appreciate that. That shows improvement. That shows a guy that I'd want to pick to be my breakout player. He's a decent ball handler, a pretty good defender, honestly. He's not the most athletic as far as guards in the NBA, but he's a pretty good defender. Um, Denim is just, there's not a lot of guys on Brooklyn I really wanted to pick, just like you. But yeah, I think if any guard on this team is going to take the next step, I think it'll be Denham. I don't think he's going to be on the ball this year. I think they throw in Mikhail Brown right away, just like they did Denham last year. So yeah, I can't argue with that. And then do I have the next one?
Yeah, you would do.
So the Charlotte Hornets, I guarantee we have the same player for this upcoming year. But for last year, I said Musa Diabate. He was their center to start the year when Ryan Kalkbrenner wasn't there yet, and he was a pretty good rebounder and pretty good defender for his size. I mean, he's only 6'9", and ended up becoming a good backup center for him. And the year prior, I think he was a two-way player. So, I mean, another guy like Mosquito who's towards the end of your bench and then gets a role and flourished. I mean, I wouldn't say Diabate flourished, but he became something positive out of it. And there's a lot of players that don't. And then my upcoming one is Brandon Miller. We kind of already talked about this. Both of our picks for most improved next year. Obviously, he's going to have a lot more freedom with LaMelo Ball out. Probably going to be on the ball a little bit more. He's going to have more freedom to score the ball. And defensively, he ain't no slouch. So I picked Brandon Miller as well as you probably did as well.
Yeah, I actually picked Brandon Miller for last year and this year. I think last year he kind of took a leap to like, oh, he could almost be an all-star. And I think this year, I think he will be an all-star. I think Brandon Miller has the keys to Charlotte right now. I mean, it's up to him to ball. I mean, if he doesn't, that's on him. Like they're setting him up for success, and I think that he's got to go there. He's got to focus. He's got to work because I mean, still the NBA. Like you got to work, but I feel like he's gonna have success this year.
Sure.
For the Bulls, I put Matas Buzelis. I think he had a lot better of a year. I kind of look at him and Patrick Williams, and I'm like, no. Let me explain. So Patrick Williams was the fourth pick, and I think Matas was 13th or 14th. They're both lottery picks for the Bulls, and they're kind of like similar like builds. Like they're both like the same height. So to me, it was like
they're the same
position. Matas went in there, and he's like he had to beat out Patrick Williams, and I think he did. And
That's not hard.
No, it's not. But to me, he went in, he got the job done, and for me, he kind of was a breakout year. I don't really know who else would be a good breakout for the Bulls. You might have somebody, but I think Matas got the pick for me.
I also picked Matas. I actually think he had a pretty good year. Like you said, I mean, he had a bounce back. Not that his rookie year was bad by any means, but it was really inefficient. And for his size, I mean, inefficiency is a weakness. So he had a lot better year. He averaged around 15 or 16 points a game, which is pretty good. And the Bulls need scores. So I picked Mattis for last year. As far as Patrick Williams, that's terrible, bro. If it wasn't for his extension,
he beat him out.
he did beat him out, but like Jarris Walker beat him out.
That is true too.
If it wasn't for Williams' extension, I don't even think he'd be in the league.
Yeah, me either.
Honestly, when they made that pick, I was watching it and I was like, I didn't even know who it was. Like, I mean, that's me being a little younger, so obviously, like, I don't know everybody coming in. But I was like, who the heck is Patrick? I mean, like, I knew Halliburton, I knew Killian Hayes. Killian Hayes didn't even play college ball, and I knew who Killian Hayes was because I think it was like House of Highlights or something. Always posted his highlights because he was some overseas prospect. Was he from Australia?
I'm not sure, but I know he's overseas.
No, he was from France. He was from France. So, yeah. Yeah, I don't even remember who Patrick Williams was. I remember seeing that, and I think there was a player I wanted them to take that wasn't Patrick Williams, and I can't remember who it was. But when you get picked at, well, James Wiseman was a worse pick than that. So I can't even say he was the worst pick of that draft. But for my next upcoming year, did you know who to pick? Like, did you struggle with this one?
No, this was kind of one of the teams that were like, oh, I don't know where to go, and then I looked, saw this guy, and I'm like, it's got to be this guy.
Really, I still struggle. I said Leonard Miller because I was like last year towards the end of the year he got a little bit of more playing time, and he was a really good defender for him. He got a little better at shooting. Definitely something that he'll have to improve on. But if they give him a spot in this rotation, I think he could be a pretty good interior defender, and he's got a little bit of athleticism, so he could be a guy that you can pull out, and it's still no problem.
For mine, I said Rob Dillingham. Um, when he got drafted at 26 by Minnesota, everyone was like, "Oh, it's a steal of the draft. Oh, it's a steal of the draft."
26.
Wasn't
He
20.
was drafted seventh.
Oh, what am I thinking of? Someone got drafted 26.
That draft wasn't Terrence Shannon drafted 26?
Oh, might have been Terry. Okay, that's my bad.
No, you good.
Shoot. Okay. That's my bad, guys.
The only reason I knew that is because the Spurs.
Did he get drafted at 26?
I don't know. I'm looking. I'm trying to.
Might have been him. 27th. Oh,
Yeah, no,
okay,
you're probably
that's my
Terrence Shannon.
okay. All right. Scratch
Illinois
that.
legend though.
Scratch
Terrence
that.
Shannon.
But I still think Rob Dillingham is going to be the most improved. I thought he was going to be given a big role in Minnesota, but he really wasn't. He never got the role. I was kind of surprised he got traded to Minnesota. To be completely honest with you, Minnesota. I was Chicago. Gosh.
No, you're good.
Anyways, I think he will have a breakout year. I think he's going to get a lot of playing time this year. I think he deserves it. I think he deserves a shot. Shifty guard. He really has nothing to lose, and I really like the pickup for Chicago, and I really like the season for
You know,
him.
it was really weird that Minnesota kind of like picked Bones Highland over Rob.
I know.
Like that was almost what that was saying to me.
Experience.
Yeah, and then Bones didn't even like end the year in a rotation. Not that Rob probably would have, because I mean he was all right in Chicago. I mean a little better than he was in Minnesota, but I'm not intrigued with Rob anymore. I used to be really high on Rob. I mean at Kentucky, I thought he was better than Reed Shepard. I thought Reed Shepard was a more valuable player for a contender, obviously coming right in because he was just a shooter. But I thought Rob had higher potential, and we just haven't seen that from him. Who's that next team?
The Cavs.
The Cavs. Okay, for last year I picked Jalen Tyson.
That's who I picked him for this year, but I kind of want to do him for both.
That's fine. I mean, you can do him for who'd you have?
Didn't really have anyone, but I went Sam Merrill because I had to put somebody.
Okay. Yeah, I think Jalen Tyson. I mean, he just is another guy who went from he was in their G League the year before that. I mean, he was on the team, but he played G League games. He's like their 13th guy. Made his way up, and then there was games where he was a consistent starter for them when Max Strus was out for that extended period of time. And then they traded DeAndre Hunter the year before. So, Jalen Tyson, kind of a scrappy player. I mean, it's like one of those players that once he gets a little older, he'll be a little bit more valuable because that scrappiness is. I mean, that's valuable to teams.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I'd put Jalen Tyson for both, but the only reason I put Sam Merrill was just because I feel like he just shot the three a little better last year. Not quite sure what his percentage was, but I do think it was a little better. Next team we got the Dallas Mavericks.
I didn't say my next year.
Oh shoot, my bad.
No, you're good. You're good. I said Trey Mann. I think the year before last year, Trey Mann played really good for Charlotte. Got hurt. And then last year had a down year for Charlotte, but they brought in Kobe White. They had Colin Sexton for the other half of that. Kind of had guys in his place. Now Cleveland, who's without a scorer off the bench, could really use one.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't had one really since Karis LeVert. So I think Trey Mann could be that guy. And then we haven't done ceilings and floors. We keep forgetting to do that.
We only did that in Atlanta.
I know. So I would say my Cleveland ceiling would be again like a 2-3 seed.
Yep.
That would be like ideal. Something would have to really click for them. Like they'd have to find something that they didn't find last year. At least defensively. And then I said their floor would be like a 6 seed. I mean, this team's gonna be a good regular season team, assuming Harden is on this team. And even if not, I think they'll be a good regular season team. They have been the last couple of years. It's just once they get to the playoffs, they can't stay healthy and they can't give Donovan Mitchell help.
Yeah. Shout out Trey Mann. Quiet Jim posted his trade within the first 5 minutes. I'd follow if I were you. All right, next we got the Dallas Mavericks. This was my first rookie that I picked. Cooper Flagg, he had high expectations. I think he exceeded them and then some. I think he had a very good rookie year. I think everyone expected him to, but I think he's one of those rookies that were like, dang, he did good, but I think, dang, he did really good last year. I was kind of tempted to pick him for this year's most improved slash breakout, but I went with my most improved runner up. So
Okay. Yeah, I picked Cooper Flag for this upcoming year. Um, when you see guys that had that good of a rookie year, it's only up from there usually, unless you're like Market Carl Williams or Ben Simmons. Which Ben Simmons actually did get better after his rookie year, but it was a couple years after that. Flag, I mean, he's gonna be generational. I still have the same thoughts about Flag as I did when he came in. I think he's better than any rookie that came in this year. I think he's better than any rookie that came in before him, the year before him, besides Wemby. I mean, he's just a really good prospect that came in and showed a lot of flashes, and I think was the clear cut rookie of the year, despite what people say about Khan. Um, for last year, I didn't pick any rookies. I don't think I would have picked Flag anyway, just because he was the number one pick. Um, I picked Najee Marshall.
that's who I was gonna pick.
He had a good. I also thought about Brandon Williams. I mean, Brandon Williams again had kind of a big jump, but he wasn't anything tremendous. And Najee Marshall, honestly, I think outshined PJ Washington last year. PJ Washington was really important for them the years prior to that. So I mean, obviously, no one was that important to them last year just because they weren't that great of a team. But now with Kyrie back, you don't know what this team could do. You have a generational player in Cooper Flag. You have Kyrie, who's, I mean, I'm assuming is going to come in and still be an all star. But I don't know, man. I think that was hard. I don't think there was any guy that I really wanted to take outside of maybe Flag. Uh, for their ceiling,
Mine,
do
I
you?
picked Zachary Richardson. So,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you already kind of talked about that. I don't
Yeah.
hate it. I don't hate it. Uh, what do you think their ceiling is? Because that's something that for me it's hard to like gauge because
It
the
is
Western
kinda hard.
Conference is kind of weird.
It's like it's still a good conference, but it's not as good as the East, in my opinion.
It's not
right
as
now.
deep as the East.
Yeah, I think ceiling would be a 5 seed. I think low would be play in because they have the pieces to get to the play in.
Yeah, they
It's
do.
just will they get past the play in? I don't know. I don't know if they can.
Okay, I don't disagree with that. I think I don't think they're going to be better than these teams that have already kind of proven something in the playoffs. But we'll see.
So next, the Denver Nuggets. For last year, I did Peyton Watson.
Same.
Pretty straightforward. I mean, he had a great year. He's looks to be like the number 3 option now, or 4 option. Depends if you put him or Aaron Gordon first. But I really like him. For this year, I put Julian Startweather. I think that's his name. Strother. My bad. I think he could be a pretty good backup guard. I think they kind of need that. And I think this year is a good chance because the Nuggets are going to play him to get better. So I expect him to. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I think he'll have a better year.
It's not a bad pick. I also picked Peyton Watson for last year. Self-explanatory. One of those guys that were role players, didn't have much expectation, and then kind of got a role because Murray was out. Jokic was even out for a month. Aaron Gordon missed a lot of time last year, and that was the big thing was Aaron Gordon missing time. And I wouldn't necessarily say Denver has options. I would say their options are give Jokic the ball and move, or give Jamal Murray a pick. That's really just their offense, especially with David Alaba now. So Peyton Watson kind of found himself a flow. I mean, he's an athletic power forward who is surprisingly good at blocking shots. But for this year, I picked Spencer Jones. He kind of reminds me a little bit of what Christian Braun was for them his rookie year, which he wasn't a rookie last year, but it was his first year in Denver. And he kind of gives them, a hustle player. And then offensively, he's actually a decent playmaker when you put him on the ball, which obviously he wasn't really on the ball. His biggest flaw is how ugly his fucking jump shot is. His jump shot is horrendous. It's more like maybe the worst jump shot of today's game. But nonetheless, I still think he's a pretty good player. And he just got a new contract with him. They were forced to pay him because OKC wanted him. So I'm good for Spencer, and I think he's going to play up to it.
Next, we got the Detroit Pistons. For last year, I picked Jalen Duren. He had a very, very, very good year besides the playoffs. But that's besides the point. He looked like a leader last year, and he looked like a top 10 center in the league. I don't think that's crazy to say. But yeah, I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Did you have Jalen Duren?
Yeah, I had Jalen Duren. Same reasons.
For my most improved, I put Dennis Jenkins. I think he had an interesting year last year, but I think he's one of those players that he knows his role. he knows he's not going to start unless Cade or someone goes down. But I think he's going to work to be the best six man that he can. Now, I don't know if he's going to be there just yet, but I think he could very, very, very interestingly be a six man of the year candidate in the next 2 to 3 years.
I think the great thing about Detroit last year was how many guys like are up to this breakout.
Mhm.
Like, not only that, Asar could have been said. Dennis Jenkins for last year could have been said. He was a two-way player and then got a contract middle of the year. Marcus Sasser could have been said for last year. So I mean, they had a ton of guys that could have been. I mean, even Kate got better last year. So God, Tobias Harris got better last year. So it's just like all those guys played better than the year prior. But like I said, I also picked Jalen Durham, but there's a lot of guys you could have said. And then for me, I said a guy that similar to Aaron Wiggins, Isaiah Joe. Just a guy that was on a really good team, didn't get the minutes he probably wanted, and now he's going to a situation where they can kind of just sub him in for Duncan Robinson and make him do the same exact thing Duncan Robinson does. Come off some screens, you know. What they do great with Duncan Robinson, also what Eric Spoelstra did great with Duncan Robinson, is they have him move off the ball. Like it's the player that moves most off the ball that I can think of right now, other than Steph Curry. Like they have him moving everywhere. If he's not coming off and he's getting run off the 3-point line, he's cutting. The great thing about Isaiah Joe is he's more of a threat in there. Like he's more athletic. He can do more inside the paint. And I think that's a great thing for Detroit because it gives you another guy that can do the same thing that is already implemented into your offense. And again, he's gonna have more opportunity and he may come off the bench still, but you lost Marcus Sasser. So you're already down a guy in the spot. You gained John Collins, but you lost Tobias Harris. You still have Dennis Jenkins, but they have a lot of guards. But I think Joe's definitely getting some playing time for them and some big playing time. There might be even games where they finish Isaiah Joe on the court instead of Duncan Robinson. Oh, what's that next team? I can do mine. Golden State. Golden State was a little harder for me to say my breakout player from last year because it should have been Pods.
See, I thought
it should have been
Pods.
Pods.
Would give us criticism.
It should have been Kaminga. It should have been these guys, these young guys who came in. But Pods, though we had a really good end of the year, no one was on that team. I mean, they were playing like 8, 9 guys deep. They were playing LJ Cryer at that starting point guard. LJ Cryer was playing limited minutes in the summer league. And I love LJ Cryer. He was great at Houston, but he's just not that. He's not all that, right? And so the fact that he only scored 30 once as their only guy on their team that was playing that is normally in the rotation is a little sad, especially from a guy that you want scoring. Like he has the ball in his hands. He should be scoring. Same with Kaminga. Kaminga had he needs the ball in his hands. Why aren't you scoring? I mean, that's why they shipped him off. That's why he wasn't happy. I ended up seeing Geek Santos. I'm assuming that you thought of that at least.
For this year?
Yeah, for last year.
Oh, last year? Yeah, I really didn't know who to put here.
Who'd you say?
I was thinking Pods, then I put Pods, but I put Quinn Post because I feel like
okay, that's fine.
I'm okay. He almost got the job.
If I was gonna say rookies, I would have said Will Richard because I mean he wasn't phenomenal for him, but he was a second round pick and he did more than a second round pick should. But for this next year, I said Geek Santos. Or not? Did I say he? I need to get my list up, bro.
I put Yaxel Lindenberg. I think he should have a great rookie year. I think he's gonna play right away. I think that's what he wants, and he's like 23, 24, and I think he should be ready to go.
I said Santos for both. I was right. I think they'll play both Lindenberg and Santos off the bench. I think they'll both. I think it'll be I think they'll have a good duo. I think they're kind of similar in play style. I think both of them can play with kind of whoever. I kind of am excited for that bench. Just a little bit.
They have
I hate the starting five.
I know.
I don't know who their starting five would be. I'm assuming Steph, Pods, Jimmy, Draymond, and Porzingis. Yeah. I don't know if I'd even say Pods as that starter for sure. I might even start Yaxel.
I'd probably say Pods.
I'd assume it's Pods, but once the season comes around, I might start Yaxel. I might start Santa. You know what I mean? I might start D'Anthony Melton. I'd prefer Pods to come off the bench for him. Yeah. Go ahead and talk about Joe. Who's next? Houston?
Okay, so next would be Houston.
Talk about the ceiling and the floor for Houston as well.
All right. So, actually, we'll do the ceiling and the floor for Golden State. So, my floor for Golden State would be missing the playoffs, so like a 12 seed. My ceiling for Golden State would probably be a 6 seed. I think they could be a very good team if everyone stays healthy, but everyone has to stay healthy and everyone has to produce. With Jimmy, Steph, Kristaps getting older, I don't really know what could happen, you know, but I think they will still be able to compete. Then for Houston, my most improved slash breakout player from last year would have been Tari Eason. He had a very good year last year. He did get hurt. He did go through a little bit of a slump. But I think for the most part, Tari Eason was their most reliable 3-point shooter. I mean, outside of KD. But I think Tari Eason had a very good year last year. And there was a stretch where he was shooting about 45% over like a 2 week span. So that was very good. And then for this next year, I have Reed Shepard. I think it's finally his year. I think it needs to be his year. But I think Reed Shepard will kind of take the better backup point guard, or maybe he starts over Fred. I don't know. But I think he finally gets the job done this year and he progresses a lot.
I said Reed Shepard for last year. Not that he had like a phenomenal year,
Mm-hmm.
but I think he had the biggest leap as far as the rest of the guys. I mean, Tari Eason also had a good year as well. With Reed though, the thing with Reed is, and the thing I hate about Houston, I don't know if I've talked about this, is how much they have to hide their players defensively. Like last year, he's not on their team anymore, but Josh Okogie got big minutes because he could at least make up defensively for what teams lack, like for that what that team lacked. Reed Shepard, you had to hide him, like seriously hide him. He was late on rotations. He got beat off the dribble, and he's undersized. Same with Sengun. He had to like they had to hide him. There was times where I would have rather had Steven Adams or Clint Capella. God, Clint Capella, but to be on the court because like he just couldn't defend anything. Like he's not physical. He's slow, surprisingly slow off first steps. It's like he can't move laterally, and I think part of it's effort, not on Reed Shepard's part, but at least Shangun's part. And I, I think one of the most underrated signings actually is Marcus Smart because because he, at least even though he's not as good as he used to be, will make up for things on the defensive end. And having Fred back obviously helps as well. I'm not very optimistic about how good he's going to be. I don't think we see the same kind of Freddie. I mean, he's a little older now. He just missed an entire year. But, it also doesn't help when you have your starting point guard and you don't really have a backup plan. Like, this is your point guard, and then you plan on, maybe playing a younger guy who can sub him out in a men. But then you lose that, you don't expect to win, especially if you don't make any moves to go and replace Freddie. And so last year I said Reed Shepard just because I thought he took another leap, just like Neemias Queta, just like he was one of your guys on the end of the bench. Came up, got opportunity, played all right. There was games where Reed Shepard was unstoppable from three. There was other games where he shot 0 for 6. But I thought he took a pretty decent leap for him, and I think he ended up being their sixth man. For this next year, though, I really didn't know who to pick, to be honest with you. I said a men. I think there's a world where a men takes another leap. Um, these Thompson twins, there's no ceiling on their defense. I think their defense can only get as good as they let it to be. Like they can end up being some of the best defenders of all time, if obviously they keep up with it. Offensively, there's a lot of holes in men's game, and I think you can only get better from here. It's the same with, I know I mentioned him already, but Ben Simmons, where he was defensively like the best defensive guard in the league. Offensively, he had a lot of holes, and he never ended up fixing them. But a men and Asar too, both can do something similar, and Houston just doesn't have many young guys that I think have high potential to make a big leap, especially now that they have like Smart, they have Freddie back. Did they make another move? They're gonna have Steven Adams back, who was hurt for half the year. Uh, there's just not a lot of room for other guys to really do anything. The only other guy I really considered was Jabari Smith.
Yeah, that's not bad. I kind of thought about him too.
Who'd you say?
I said Reed Shepard for this year.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's not bad either. That's just assuming like he's guaranteed that backup, which I think he is.
Yeah, me too.
I think he is. Who's that next team?
Third.
The Pacers? I didn't say anybody for their breakout. I think they're gonna be terrible. Who were we just talking about? The Houston Rockets. What do you think? Do you think they could be a 2 seed, a 3 seed at their ceiling?
3 at their ceiling, just because the Spurs and the
I said
Thunder.
4 at their ceiling.
I think the Spurs and the Thunder got that last.
I think the Nuggets got it too.
That could be a good playoff series.
You think Nuggets Houston?
That'd be a great playoff series.
You think? I think Nuggets. I think they got that.
I don't know about
Who's
that.
guarding Jokic? Nobody.
Sangoon can try,
Peyton
but no one's guarding Kevin Durant.
Watson ain't that bad.
Kevin Durant is that guy, cuz.
I mean, yeah, and he is good, but it's like you have some kind of like you don't have any kind of idea how to stop Jokic. Not with that roster. With KD, at least you can like
Kind of.
try. You can make a game plan. With Jokic, you can't even make a game plan defensively.
He could definitely make a game plan. He could try and double him.
That's a terrible game plan. Somebody's open. Yeah, with the Pacers, last year I said Jay Huff. He's another guy who the year prior he was a two-way player, then got a good contract, and then that next year he signed with Indiana, ended up playing really well for him. He became one of the better backup centers in the league. I do believe that he became one of the better rim protectors. Surprisingly so. I didn't think he would be that great of a rim protector at this level, but he is. And then offensively, he doesn't bring a whole lot, but he's still all right for a backup. And then for this next year, I don't think you're gonna agree with me, but go ahead and say your last year's.
Last year I put Nemhard. He went from kind of being a shadow in this offense to being the lead guy. Obviously, my boy Hallie was hurt, so he kind of had to. But he averaged a double double last year. Maybe he was just shy of it. I mean, he was right there to averaging a double double, and that's a huge leap for him. I think he'll kind of be like the lead guard at sometimes too this year, just because I think they're gonna want to work Hallie back, and like Nemhard will have to take the lead role for a bit. And then for my player of this year, I put Jarris Walker. He's had a few disappointing years, but I feel like he did best when Tyrese was playing because he got open through the ball movement. I think last year he went in with the subs, and the subs weren't as good as they were the year before, so he had to create for himself. And he had flashes. He had about 3 or 4 20-point games, so like that could be interesting. But I think this year Jarris Walker will be more consistent this year with being able to play better just because of the rotations out the Pacers will have this year.
My only thing
And he said Ben Shepherd.
I didn't say Ben Shepherd.
God.
My only thing with Jarris Walker is you guys signed Oubre, you signed Larry Nance.
Larry Nance is not playing.
He could.
He's not.
He could beat out Jarris Walker.
No, he can't.
1,000% he could. 1,000%. Y'all are contending. You're gonna play a young guy who hasn't proven anything, or an older veteran who can actually do something.
I don't think Larry Nance is gonna bring that much. I think he's just there for veteran presence. It's kind of like a James Johnson kind of move.
It's not though.
It is. Though.
Larry Nance is way better than James Johnson.
Yes, he's way better, but I'm saying the Pacers aren't going to expect him to play in the rotation.
No, when everybody's healthy, I don't expect Larry Nance to play, but I don't expect Jarris Walker to play either.
I expect him to play.
You got Oubre and Obi and Pascal, Neesmith. You have so many forwards. You have so many wings.
That is interesting. All right, what do you think?
I said Nemhard for this year, just because, yeah, I agree with what you said last year, but now it's going to be nationally televised, and like you said, like they're going to slow everything with Halliburton. I think towards the beginning of the year, he will be their closer. I think he's going to have the ball in his hands. And I think this is the year that people realize, like, Nemhard is that guy. Like, he's at least offensively. He is that guy. He is that guy.
He is that guy.
Yes, bro. I think offensive, like, everybody knows his defense is pretty good. I think everybody knows that. I think they saw that in the finals. But also what they saw in the finals was a lot of Halliburton. A lot of Siakam. Like, they saw these other guys on the ball. Sometimes Nemhard didn't make the greatest decisions in the finals. And I think that's kind of what people remember, because not everybody was tuned into Indiana last year. And I think this year you're going to see a different kind of version of Andrew Nemhard. And I hope to, because I am a big fan of them, both the Nemhards, and I hope they both have amazing years. Who's that next team?
This was a hard one.
This was a hard one.
For kind of both for me.
It was a hard one. Well, I'm not going to say it was a hard one. I didn't want to pick it.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I wanted to skip over the Clippers.
Yeah, I'm going to leave mine blank.
Really?
I literally just put yours because I had to put an answer.
Okay, well, I put Jordan Miller. He definitely had a bigger leap from the year prior. He kind of went from this was another guy who was a two-way player at one point, got a good contract, and then ended up playing well. Not last year. He was a two-way a couple years ago, but I mean, now he's a solid bench player. And I think even if he went to another team that wasn't the Clippers, he'd still get PT. And that's, I mean, for a team that's like the Clippers, that's pretty good. And then I don't know who you have for this year. Who'd you end up picking for this
Pick
year?
Kobe Sanders. He just got his new contract.
Okay, that's not.
And I feel like it was like 3 years. So I
I
feel
don't-
like they have a plan for him.
I
So I
don't.
feel like
Yeah, they
he's
do.
gonna try and get some playing time.
I picked John A. Broom. I think the last couple years he's been really good in the summer league. He was really good at Auburn, and I think they have this open spot at center. Right to start the year, it'll probably be Brooke Lopez or Yannick, whatever, Conan Niederhauser. And I think I actually kind of said that low key kind of right, but I,
It was hard.
they have an open spot at center, and I wanted it to be Broom, so I'm saying it's gonna be John A. Broom.
All right, the other LA team. Hit him off what?
I said Austin Reeves for last
Yep.
year.
Pretty self-explanatory. My
And
brother
there
got
wasn't really anybody
paid.
else that took huge leaps. I mean, I don't really like this Lakers roster, to be honest with you, at least from last year. But Reeves became a more reliable scorer, and I think that's huge for him. For this next year, if we were picking rookies, I'd 100% say Cameron Carr. I mean, he had a really good summer league. He was a consistent scorer. They kind of need length. That's exactly what he brings. He had a decent year at Baylor. But because I didn't pick rookies, I picked Sandro Mamakashvili. They don't really have a power forward per se. They don't really have a four, and it's either going to be him or Jake LaRavia. And me being a Spurs fan, I know what Mamu's capable of, and I think that he's really good at putting him into a system, moving the ball around, and stretching the floor. And when you have a guy like Luka, stretching the floor is really important. And I think Mamu could honestly be a decent guy to put in that spot offensively. Defensively, it's a little questionable, especially since you have Luka. But I have Mamu.
You're probably not gonna like my pick,
Okay.
but I put Dalton Connect. He hasn't really proven much at all. I think it's kind of similar to the Jonathan Kuminga situation. But I think since he hasn't proved anything, I think he's destined to. When he played, I think it was 2 years ago, he did pretty good. I mean, he had a few games where he had put up 15 plus. Like he's definitely capable of it. He just hasn't got a chance to show it. So that's why I think if he gets a chance this year, I think he will show how capable he is of it. Next, the Memphis.
If he was amazing at Tennessee,
Mhm.
but if he was to have a breakout year,
It'd be on
like
different
it happened. Well, yeah, I mean, ideally, but it have to be this year
It was.
because it should have been last year, and it honestly should have been the year before,
Could have been.
right? And if it's not this year, dude, I'm scared that he's even got a spot in the league.
Yeah.
If you are Dalton Connect, you need to do it now, or else you might be you could be cut, you could be traded for nothing. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a terrible pick. I don't think it'll happen, but I'd love to see it because I love those guys that are really good in college. Because I hope it transfers, but Tennessee legend, but ends up doing nothing in the league. It makes no sense to me.
Next, Memphis Grizzlies. For last year, I picked Cedric Cower. He did another rookie I picked. He did exceptional last year. Grizzlies didn't have much going for him, but he's someone that took a lot better of a leap than I thought he would. And then for this year, I picked Zach Edey. Had a very bad year last year. Didn't do much at all. But I think this is his year to shine. Should be his junior year going into the league, and I think it should be one of his better years. I'm excited to see how he plays, and I think he'll be definitely a leader of this Memphis squad.
Okay. If we were picking rookies, I also would have picked Cedric Howard for last year. I mean, definitely outplayed what he should have. But instead, I picked Cam Spencer, another guy, two-way player. Ended up having another good college player at UConn. I'm gonna mention that for like every guy. No, if you sucked in college, I will point it out. I hate the players that they draft. Like, oh my gosh, when the Celtics, I'm an Indiana fan. I hated Romeo Langford. I hated Romeo Langford, bro. He was not that good.
He's not that good.
And then when they drafted him at 14th, he did play for the Spurs, and I loved it because we had an Indiana guy. But I hated it because he sucked, dude. We also had Stanley Johnson that year. That's how bad we was. But
You guys was pulling.
But yeah, I thought about maybe Jalen Wells. I mean, he had a comeback year at least because he was injured the year prior, at least his rookie year, and he had a really good rookie year. For this upcoming year, I said Cedric Howard. I think if someone's going to be that scorer, because let's be honest, right now Memphis has no score outside of maybe I'm a little confident in Jeremy Grant. Maybe, but he's still a rookie. You know what I mean? So I said Cedric Howard. I think if any of their young guys make a big leap, it's Cedric Howard, and I think their ceiling is the same as their floor, and I think it's the 15th seed.
That's good.
For the next team, we have Miami Heat, right? For last year, I said Norman Powell. I mean, what ended up being an all-star after being a six-man. So, I mean, how do you beat that? I mean, it's the only guy I'm gonna have on this list that's over 30. So,
Yeah.
shout out to Norman Powell. You will probably not have a breakout year at Chicago. Sorry to hate, but I'm just being honest. For this next year, I said Davion Mitchell. He's their guard. He's going to be their lead guard. The only other guard I'm even confident on this roster is Tim Hardaway Jr. And I'm not even fully confident in Tim Hardaway Jr. because everybody knows him to be a shot checker, which he really is, but he's a decent scorer, and that's what they'll need. But I think Davion Mitchell is more of that winning player, man. He will lock up your guard. He'll get you a couple important buckets. I mean, he might shoot some from the outside. He's not afraid to penetrate and dish out, which they don't really have many great shooters. I mean, maybe Bobby Portis. But other than that, I really didn't know. This is another team I didn't really know to pick because this like one of these teams that don't have great depth. I'm looking for a young guy off the bench who's maybe shown something in college or shown something in the summer league or the G League or something. That's like, man, he could have opportunity.
Like Nikola Jokic.
But they don't have that.
Whatever his name is.
Jovic. Is that who you said?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, his rookie year he played really well. Second year he didn't play so well. No. So I could see him having to bounce back.
I think they're going to need depth.
Yeah,
so
he'll be a decent depth. For sure.
Yeah.
I like that. Go ahead and say Milwaukee.
So for Milwaukee, for this year, I put Ryan Rollinson. Start off the year really good.
Rollinson,
tomato.
This is not the same.
Okay,
Ryan Rollinson.
He's a baseball player.
Another to where.
Anyways, Ryan Rollins. I think he had a very good year last year. He had 30-point games, and he kind of put the league on notice for a bit. He's like, oh, wow, Milwaukee kind of found a diamond in the rough. That's on me. But I think he had a very good year last year. And for this year, I have Jaime Hawkins Jr. I think that he was almost Sixth Man of the Year a few years ago. Kind of had a rough year last year. But I think that he should almost get Sixth Man of the Year this year if he doesn't start.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's very valid, too.
I also said Ryan Rollins for last year. Pretty self-explanatory. Yeah. For this year, I said KPJ. I mean, he's going to be on the ball a lot, and I don't really know how Taylor Jenkins is going to play them. What I was thinking is if you remember in Memphis, when Taylor Jenkins first got there, that was when Memphis was always doing that 1-2 seeds. They were really good. And a lot of what they did was primarily give Ja the ball. And if you see a lot of the same things with Kevin Porter Jr., we can see a breakout with Kevin Porter Jr. The only problem I have with that is when Ja was out, he loved to push the ball, and he got everybody involved. Those were the games where Desmond Bane was really involved. Brandon Clark was really involved. May he rest in peace. Dylan Brooks was really involved. D'Anthony Melton was really involved. And you could see a lot of the same, like where they, instead of playing through a star like they did what Taylor Jenkins did with Ja, you see how they did when Ja was out. When they just have a bunch of young guys who are really young and want to push the ball and are decent shooters. Braden Burries is a really good shooter. He's really good at pushing the ball. He can be on the ball. Same with Ryan Rollins. Same with Kevin Porter Jr. Nate Ament doesn't give me much confidence as far as being in that offense. Exactly. But this team has a lot of potential to be fun, at least. And I think KPJ is going to be the star of it.
All right, Minnesota. We had the same one, so I'll just let you do that.
I said Terrence Shannon for for this year.
Me too.
How do you know we had the same?
That's the only one I saw on your phone.
Oh, I was gonna say that's crazy that you knew that, but Terrence Shannon I think is gonna be an important depth piece for him. Similar to what Nikhil was a couple years ago for him. They're losing some depth without Naz Reid. Did they lose somebody else as well? Oh, they didn't have Dante DiVincenzo last year, so that'll be a good depth piece for him. But I think Terrence Shannon's also gonna be a pretty good depth piece for him. But for last year, who'd you pick for last year?
Ayo.
Me too. I think Ayo had a good year. I just think they asked too much of him.
But he delivered.
In the playoffs? I wouldn't say he delivered as much in the playoffs. I mean, he wasn't they were asking him to be the point guard, and he just Ant was getting double teamed, triple teamed, and they had no answer. Yeah. And you want your point guard to take the ball.
Improve from that.
And the only reason The only thing that they had was maybe like Mike Conley as far as on the ball, but he was like the Spurs were just playing him off because he was small. Which he's a Boston Celtic now. You like that?
I don't think it's bad.
It ain't terrible.
I hope he follows.
I mean, he's worse than Larry Nance.
No.
Larry Nance is more valuable at this point in their careers. Yes or no?
Yes.
What is this bro on? He ain't playing. He's James Johnson. You're acting like he's Udonis Haslam. Like he ain't that bad.
I'm kidding.
No, you were. You were not kidding.
New Orleans.
New Orleans. I said Trey Murphy for last year. Did you not?
No, I said Jeremiah Fears. I think he did.
Oh, you picked a
very
rookie?
good.
Okay.
Yes, he's one of the rookies. I think I only picked one more, but he had a very good year compared to what I thought he was gonna have. I remember seeing the beginning of the year was like 0 Fears. It's so tough. I mean, it is tough.
It is
and
tough.
I think he's gonna. I think he had a very good year last year.
Him and his brother are very like.
Mhm.
Jeremy Fears for Michigan State and Jeremiah both have that winning mentality,
Yeah.
and that's something that you really want from your point
Especially
guard.
New Orleans, they need it.
Yeah, they really. I mean, yeah, they do. And I had picked him to be my next year breakout.
I picked Dairy Queen.
Okay.
I don't think he had a
Dairy
bad
Queen.
Year. Yeah, Dairy Queen. I don't think he had a bad year last year, but I think this year, I think he's gonna get the starting role for sure over
Missy.
Yep, and I think he's gonna excel.
I loved Derek Queen in college. I think he went to Maryland.
Yeah, he did.
The only thing I remember him from college is that game winner. He had that little step like floater thing that banked. Yeah, bro, that was not tough. I ain't gonna lie, it looked ugly as hell, but it went in. Derek Queen, he's Dairy Queen, can do a lot on the offensive end. Defensively, I'd still take Yves Missy, but I think there's a potential there, and I think if these two played to their ceiling, Jeremiah Fears, Derek Queen duo,
that'd be pretty good.
If you had to make an NBA comparison for both of those players, who would it be? Like other guys, other stars. Because to me, Derek Queen reminds me a lot of Boogie.
I was thinking that, or I was thinking like maybe like a little less strong Shaq. Which that could be a bad take.
That's a wild fetch.
It could, but I think like
Derek Queen can handle the ball a little better.
That's what I'm saying. Like
that's why I'm thinking like a Boogie, bro, because Boogie can play on the ball.
I see that.
What would you say for Jeremiah Fears? I feel like there is one.
I don't know. I kind of thought Russ for a sec.
Russ is a little stronger. I mean, their play
he
style
might be stronger, but like
I would say I know what you're thinking. Like get to the rim first kind of guard, like not a slasher per se, but like put the ball in the ball. They do. They do both wear 0, and I'd assume that everybody that wears 0 is like inspired by Russell Westbrook. I'd assume, not Dame, not anybody else, just Russ, not Tyrese. No, but I wouldn't be inspired by Tyrese.
This guy,
but it's Jeremiah Fears. That's a good. I feel like there's definitely like a. I would say AI.
I thought about that too for a second.
AI. I mean, that ain't like. I mean, obviously not as good as AI. He's not as good as Russ, but as far as play style, I think I'd pick Allen Iverson before I pick Russ.
Yeah.
The only thing I'd say Russ is they're both like, I'm gonna put the ball on the floor first more than anything. And AI he wasn't as much like that, but I do love that, and I think their mentality is similar as well. If you could get AI and Boogie on a team, would that be tough?
That'd be pretty good.
That'd be tough. I don't know if that'd be tough though.
I think it would be tough.
You think that win the game? I mean, AI went to the finals by himself.
Yeah, and I think Boogie's only gonna help him get there.
But Dikembe, Dikembe was older. But I mean, yeah, if you put Boogie on that Philly team, what you think they win in 01? You do? Why you look like you having a seizure?
I don't know. I'm just messing with you.
Yeah. So no. You think they would? I mean, they ran into Kobe and Shaq.
I don't know.
Kobe and Shaq are better duo.
I know. I agree with that. Do you think I do?
Nah.
I don't think they do either.
Nah.
I don't think they do. All right, next we got New York. I don't really know who to pick because I think everyone had a good year, and I feel like they didn't really add new pieces into the rotation.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't really pick any of their starters maybe outside of OG's playoffs.
I don't know.
But like Mikal honestly took a step down because in Brooklyn he was a lot like. I mean, he had to do more. Josh Hart about had the same year as he did the year prior. I mean, maybe Brunson because he had a better playoffs. But if you talk regular season alone, they're about the same. And same with Cat. I mean, Cat played a little better, but nothing I want to give a breakout player for.
Yeah.
So you about have to go down to their bench.
Yeah, that's why I went with Jose Alvarado because I feel like in the playoffs, his number wasn't called, his number wasn't called, his number wasn't called, and now nowhere in the playoffs he's playing meaningful minutes, 20 minutes a night, and not that he balled or played good, he just was ready and he played consistent minutes for them. And then for this next year, I got Tyler Kolek. I think he finally gets a little chance.
My guy, bro. I picked
Yes.
Tyler Kolek too.
I think he finally gets a little bit of minutes for the Knicks because I think he's very underrated, and I think he could go start
Mm-hmm.
on a few teams.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd love to see what Tyler Kolek could do.
So for last year, I picked Deuce McBride.
Mhm.
Similar to like Alvarado. I mean, it's just like a role player. Like he
Yeah.
wasn't asked upon to do much, but he delivered in his role. And you have to pick a guard. I mean, is that or like maybe Landry Shamet, which honestly probably wouldn't have been terrible to pick. But I prefer Deuce. And then for Tyler Kolek, I think last year you saw a lot of Tyler Kolek towards the middle of the season, and he played a lot of fourth quarters and had some big moments. If you remember the Christmas Day game, I don't know if you watched it.
I did. I remember
Tyler
that.
Kolek went crazy, like he went
Yes,
bizarre.
that was probably best game of the year.
I think he had 3 threes in a stretch where they
He had
went on
like
a
13
run,
in like the last 5
and honestly, it
minutes.
was the only reason they beat Cleveland. Like Donovan Mitchell going absurd, and they have no help. Shocker. But
No.
guess who helped Jalen Brunson? Tyler Kolek. Like Cleveland's got to figure this shit out, bro.
Next, OKC. I picked Casey Walls for last year. He didn't really have a great offensive year, but I think defensively he showed he's the defensive anchor for guards. I think they could be like, hey, Shea, go stand on the corner and guard the corner shooter while Casey Wallace is out there playing defense. I mean, that's the reason he's on the court. He's not out there kind of scoring. He's out there playing defense. I think he showed why he is the defensive anchor.
Mm-hmm. For last year, I picked AJ Mitchell. I think he just became a way better scorer. I don't hate Casey Wallace. I like Casey Wallace at Kentucky. I know I'm just naming colleges at this point. I didn't even like Casey Wallace was all right at Kentucky. I ain't gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just naming colleges, but AJ Mitchell was pretty good last year. I felt like he was a pretty good scorer. He got even better in the playoffs, and I didn't pick him for next year's because I mean I don't think he's gonna be a 20-point per game scorer. I think he's gonna be around the same at least statistically. I think he'll have a more important role, but as far as analytically, I think he'll be about the same. For this next year, I picked Jared McCain.
Me too.
I think you'll see more of a rookie season Jared McCain than you will of last year's season Jared McCain.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's gonna have opportunity to do something more than what he did. I mean, they're losing Isaiah Joe, they're losing Aaron Wiggins, they're losing Lou Dort, they're losing points, and it's not a lot of points, but they're losing what was that?
But
Probably
they're
like
gonna have it replaced.
that's probably like 23 points, 24 points a game. If you put their stats together, I mean, it's probably close to 30. They're probably all around 10, at least in the regular season. So, I mean, there's gonna be open spots. I mean, they didn't add much to their depth. I mean, they added a couple rookies like Bennett Sturts, Aiden Mora, but I don't know if either of those two are gonna be big contributors right away. And I think this is gonna allow for like AJ Mitchell to have a little bit more points. Jordan McCain could. I mean, Jordan McCain's capable. He can do this. He can average 5-6 more points a game. He averaged 8 points per game. That's it last year. All he did was average 8.
But it was a good second half of the year compared to a very, very rough start.
It was. And I think there is opportunity for him to get back up to like a, 15, 16? You confident in that?
Yeah, I'd say like 13, 16 range.
Yeah, for sure.
Next, Orlando. I don't really know who to pick. Thought Goga for a minute, but then he kind of was hit or miss. But I went and I ended up with Desmond Bain. I thought he was asked to pick up a role in Orlando, and I thought he's really good. I thought his offensive efficiency was very good. He came in there. They gave up 3 picks for him. You're like, you better perform. I think he did perform pretty good.
I said Tristan De Silva. I take it back. I say Jamal Cain. Jamal Cain actually had pretty big minutes for him at the end of the year, and before that, he wasn't really much of anything in Miami. So you remember that dunk he had? That was tough.
That was pretty sick.
That was tough.
For this year, I picked Anthony Black. I feel like he's been very inconsistent, but I feel like he kind of got his little point guard job taken away from him. So I think this year he's going to focus on being a 6-man. I think this year he's going to focus on being the best he can be, and I think he's going to show improvement because he finally needs to show improvement. He's at the point where it's like, hey, you've had a sophomore slump. Now get out of it. I hope for him he can get out of it.
Anthony Black had a really good year last year. He's another guy that could have been considered for
Mhm.
breakout.
I thought about him.
He really got played out of that playoffs. Though.
He did.
He really did. And if he's gonna have a bounce back, it needs to be this year,
Yeah.
similar to all the other guys who have bad first years in the playoffs. Because I think that might have been his first year where he was a rotational player in the playoffs. I could be wrong though. I said Jace Richardson. Last year he was a rookie. This year Anthony Black got shot down. It could be opportunity gates for him. Jalen Suggs is really not a point guard.
No, me neither.
And I think that
think
if they even try Anthony Black in at that starting point guard, they move Suggs to the 2 or whatever they want to do with it. I don't know how that'd work. They'd have to they'd probably have to move Suggs to the bench if they did that.
I was thinking. Or
I
they
don't
put Bane at
think
the 3 or Suggs at the 3.
unless you go small ball with Paulo at 5.
That'd be too small.
I know, but that's the only way you probably could do it.
Yeah.
You think Wendell Carter started that start? Or you think Vooch?
I think Wendell.
I think Wendell.
I think
So
Vooch is on his way out, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think Jace Richardson, another Michigan State guard.
All right, Philadelphia, hit us up, boy.
Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, I said Dominic Barlow. Just opportunity. That all is. It's not like he was anything special, but opportunity for sure. That plays a big part of things. For this next year, though, I said Ariel Huckporty. They'll need a center. Why are you looking at me like that? They need a look. When Joel Embiid's not healthy, and he won't be at some points, they'll need a center. And it's gonna come down to him or Bona. And I'm more confident in Huckporty. I mean, he played a little bit in the finals for the Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
Not that is an indicator of what that player is, because Jeremy Sohan also played a little bit of minutes too, and they played about the same amount of minutes in Jeremy Sohan's butt cheeks. But I think I'm more confident in Huckporty, honestly. And I remember when Huckporty played his first NBA game. I mean, he actually looked decent. He's not that bad of a player, and I think that he could go in and when Embiid's not healthy, he could grab 10 boards. Now, I'm not saying that he's the greatest backup center in the world. He's not, but he could be. There's possibility for it.
So I went with my last rookie here. VJ Edcom had a very good year last year. I don't really know what to expect from him, but he excelled my expectations. I feel like he's one of those players that you can't call it a breakout year because he was a rookie, but he had a very good year, so I'd almost call it that. And then for this year, my pick, Anthony Simons. I feel like he's had a few really bad years in a row, but in Portland, he showed potential. And Philadelphia doesn't have that much depth, so I feel like Anthony can come into Philadelphia. I feel like he could be a 6-man, 7th man, 6-7. But I feel like he could finally show. I feel like he could finally show spark again and maybe get the credit he deserves, because I feel like he did deserve a lot of credit back in Portland, but he didn't get much. But I feel like he could definitely be better now. Next, Phoenix. For last year, I went Ryan Dunn.
No way, you didn't say Colin Gillespie.
Nah, I said Ryan Dunn.
He said nah.
No, I think Colin Gillespie had a very, 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 very good year. But I didn't even know who Ryan Dunn was at the beginning of the year, to be completely honest with you. I thought it was Chris Dunn just trying to ball out. But I was like, no, there's this guy named Ryan Dunn.
They don't even look alike.
They kind of do.
They're black.
So I didn't even know who Ryan Dunn was. But then by the end of the year, I kept seeing a lot of stuff. Like he was getting meaningful minutes. For me, he went from a nobody to a somebody. That probably sounds stupid. But he got a lot of minutes towards the end of the year. I'm so tired, dude. But I think he played very good. But then for this year, I've Colin Gillespie, whatever his last name is. Even though he had a very good year last year,
They don't have Grayson Allen.
they don't, and that's yep. And they need a little bit of guard help there. He's just gonna play more of a bigger role. And I feel like Phoenix is finally going somewhere. Like last year, they kind of fell off towards the end of the year, but I feel like this year they should be a lot better.
All right. Well, for last year, I picked Colin Gillespie, just because, man, he just balled compared to what he did the year before. But for this upcoming year, I don't know if you're gonna agree with me a whole lot. I said Malawatch. I didn't feel like he had that great of a rookie year because he really didn't.
He didn't.
But in the summer league, he expanded his game. He can shoot now. Not that he was that bad. I mean, he was pretty bad. He was a pretty bad shooter. I ain't gonna lie. But he can stretch the floor a little bit now, and that's pretty valuable. And I'm not the greatest Mark Williams fan. I think he's definitely gotten worse since he got paid. But I think right now the gap between Mark Williams and Malawach, from what we've seen, is pretty big.
I agree.
But I think there's opportunity to close that gap. And Malawach is a little undersized, but I don't think it'd take much to beat out Mark Williams. And not that he's going to take that starter spot, but he can make it a lot closer than what it could be.
Mm-hmm.
For what's next, Portland?
Mm-hmm.
For the Trailblazers, last year, you said Denny? Good. I was about to beat you up if you ain't said Denny, bro. That's my boy. But probably one of the guys that took the biggest step. I mean,
In the NBA.
he went from the All-Star. He went from a decent player. Honestly, was more of a defender than anything. To now he's more of an offensive player more than anything, and he's an All-Star. And I mean, did you predict him to be an All-Star? I did. I think he's a lock for it, and I think Portland's gonna still be decent next year. For my next guy, was this one of the teams that you didn't know who to pick?
Kinda.
I picked Jeremy Sohan because I had to represent my Spurs.
I picked Scoot. I feel like it could be very questionable with the guard position. But I feel like he's just been so like underwhelming as the second pick that I feel like he's kind of just due for something. Maybe if he does some cool dunks, he'll be pretty good.
No, I mean last year in the
yeah.
playoffs, in those couple games, he actually played well.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
And in his last two games, I mean, he had a goose egg one game, and then it was like 2 or 3.
Yeah, it was kind of rough, but it's all right.
But he had I think he had a 30-point game in the playoffs against the Spurs. I mean, he showed flashes, and he for sure. I mean, Jaw hasn't played consistent games the last couple of years. Dame missed all last year, and when he was in Milwaukee, he missed a lot of games. So I mean, they're gonna have an unhealthy backcourt, and why not pick Scoot?
All right, so next we got Sacramento. It should be pretty straightforward who it is.
Oh my God, Peyton Watson. Cleveland, Denver, and Clippers have agreed on a trade sending Peyton Watson to the Cavs, Max Strus to the Clippers, and if X wants to load, I'd tell you the rest. Max Strus to the Clippers, an unprotected 2031 Cavs first-round pick, and a 2032 Kings second-rounder to the Nuggets. So the Nuggets got a first and a second for Peyton Watson. Watson went to the Cavs, and Strus went to LA. Sorry for the rest of our list, but what are we thinking about that?
That is very interesting. I did not see Cleveland or Strus getting moved. Or Cleveland or Strus. I did not see Watson going to Cleveland or Strus getting moved. That is very interesting.
Okay, sorry for cutting it, but we had lost 2 minutes of our actual audio, and we didn't notice until 2 minutes in. But basically, I'll kind of sum up what we said. We kind of just reacted to that Peyton Watson trade. We both kind of agreed that it was a really good move for all three teams. I mean, the Nuggets got a decent package for a young player that hasn't proven to be like this all-star. He's just a young, really good role player for him. You get a first out of him. You get a second out of him. It's not terrible. Obviously, ideally, we both said that you'd want to keep Peyton Watson, but because he wanted the money, which he ended up getting a 4-year, $88 million deal, which is actually kind of a decent deal for him, Denver just couldn't afford it, especially signing Lonnie Walker, signing Spencer Jones. They didn't have the money this year. And then we said for Cleveland, we loved it. I had mentioned that I had talked about Kuminga earlier, about 2 weeks ago, and we both agreed that this was a good move. And evidently, it ended up making James Harden happy because he now just signed today, because this is a day later after the podcast actually was recorded, that he came out. And there's more details to the trade, like Cam Whitmore got traded in that trade, but he ended up getting cut. Julian Reese, same thing, ended up getting cut right away. The only other guy that got moved was Trey Mann. He ended up going from Cleveland to the Clippers, so he's shipped off with Max Strus. And then we said for the Clippers, Max Strus is just kind of a guy, a good role player to bring in. Nothing too crazy. It's a guy that the Clippers fans could be excited because they have another new guy that can come and contribute for them. But again, it's not like anybody that's going to come and help them win more games than they probably will already. And then we also mentioned the start of, we went back to our topic for a little bit, and you just missed the first half of it. We both just agreed that Precious Achiuwa was the Kings' last year breakout player. And then when I cut back, I'm going to mention how the betting, I'm talking about don't ever sports bet on Precious Achiuwa, but I don't endorse any betting to begin with. But if you're going to make that bad choice, don't do it on Precious. All right, let's get back to the video. Not that I endorse any kind of betting, but just don't bet on Precious Achiuwa.
Then for this year, I put Devin Carter. He wasn't bad last year. He kind of played when people were hurt. But I think the Kings are just in such a low that Devin Carter might have a high. I guess. I don't really know.
I said Dylan Cardwell. Like, I didn't know who to pick, and he's a guy that might not get much. He might not get much playing time. He might get a lot. Who knows? It just depends on who plays well for Sacramento because they're going to take what they can get. For San Antonio, I said Dylan Harper. I assume you said the same.
Yep.
Just another breakout guy. We kind of already talked about that. A young guy. He performed well in the playoffs. Expect him to carry that into next year's regular season. Even if he doesn't, he still could be their breakout player. I wanted to give a shout out to Carter Bryant, though. That was my guy. And then for this next year, or for last year, I said Stephon Castle.
Same.
It's pretty self-explanatory. You could have said Julian Champagne, I guess.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And next it was Toronto. This was a harder one.
It was for this year. But last year,
was
had
Scotty.
to be Scotty. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who'd you put?
Jacoby Walter.
Bad.
He's just a young guy, pretty athletic. He has a lot of room to grow, and I think this is a year where he has a chance to prove it. I also like Colin Murray's Boyles. I think he could be pretty good for him as well. As far as leaps, I don't know how far of a leap he's going to take, but hopefully it's a big.
I put Grady Dick just because the trade isn't official yet. So, hypothetically, he is in Toronto right now. And I think it could be very interesting because I think he's going to have a chip on his shoulder to play better, play harder. And I think he's still a very, good player. He's young. He's underrated. So, I think Grady Dick could have a breakout year this year.
All right, for Utah, you want to say it on 3 for last year?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Keontae George.
Yep.
Love
do you want to say for next year? 1, 3?
Sure.
I don't know if it's the same. 1, 2, 3.
Isaiah Collier.
I actually like Isaiah Collier. Yeah. I think if he was on any other team that wasn't guard loaded, he'd be pretty good. I think he's one of the better playmakers in the league, and that kind of goes under the radar.
Yeah,
just because he's a bench player and he played for Utah. I said Ace Bailey just because other than him and Collier, there's not really much of any opportunity. Sensabaugh maybe could take another read, but if it wasn't for Keontae George, he would have been last year's. So,
last but not least, Washington.
Washington.
Who did you put for last year? This, I think.
Keyshawn George.
Oh, really?
Yeah, who'd you say?
Alex R.
Okay, they're both good.
Yeah,
I think Keyshawn George, he outplayed my expectation. I think I kind of expected Alex R to take a lead.
I understand that.
But, yeah, for sure.
And then for next year?
I think Keyshawn George kind of locked his 2 guard. I said Will Riley.
I figured you were going to put that. I put Bub Carrington. Okay. I felt like last year he kind of was at the top and then he kind of went downhill. But I think this year Washington has a chance to contend for probably about the first time in ever. I'm just kidding, not ever. But within the last 5 years.
Ever.
Okay, yeah,
no,
ever. But I think Bub Carrington might have a desire to get better and improve, and I think he will want to play in the rotation. Obviously, every NBA player wants to play, but I think he kind of fits the system. I feel like he'd be a good 2 guard. He doesn't have to have the ball in his hands the whole time. I feel like he'd come off the bench and be a good bench piece.
I like Bub. I think Bub's a great player. Everybody, if you guys watch the podcast, you already know I'm a big Will Riley fan, and I think Will Riley's going to do a lot of big things.
Fun fact, I did grab a rebound for Bub one time.
Did you?
When we were on the state court for the Pacers, Bub was out there shooting, and he shot it, and it flew right in my hands.
I thought about going over and slapping him on the ass, and then I was going to be like, good game, bro, and slap him. And
good game, it was halftime.
Yeah, good game so far. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I didn't do it. I was really tempted to, though. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
I was gonna at least what's up, bub?
What's
if
up,
I was
buddy?
what's up, Carlton? He would have beat my ass, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Not interesting.
All right, well, that's all we have for you guys today. As far as basketball-wise, catch us up a little bit on your life, though.
School starts, senior year. Not too much going on. Picked up another job.
I thought you were gonna say another girl.
No.
I was like, dang, you player.
I got my girl. I'm confident on that.
Me too. Me, myself, and I.
Me, Ella, against the world. But, yeah, that's pretty simple.
That was so fucking corny.
No, it was not.
That was so fucking corny.
It is what it is.
It might be true, but it's still corny.
I got confidence in us. I don't care if it's corny or if it's not.
Us against the world, what the fuck am I?
It could be the 3 of us.
Am I? I've never even met her, bro.
Yeah, she.
When am I gonna meet her?
I don't know. You can meet her this weekend. Or we're going to go to the football game together, so you can just pop out, I guess.
Yeah, let me just pop out to a high school football game.
It's your high school. It's not that crazy.
I didn't even play football.
I know. I didn't either, but I got everyone.
You did play football.
For a touchdown, actually.
That's true. I was there for that game.
That was crazy.
I was there for that game. I don't know if that was... was that crazy?
Yeah. Who would have thought
who would have thought it would be?
Exactly.
Yeah, okay. I don't know if it was
Yeah.
crazy. You know what I mean? I don't know if it was crazy. Oh, you know what I was gonna say?
No, I don't.
For our fantasy draft, I move in that day, and that's the time I move in.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm gonna be the first one out, bro.
Well, you're gonna have your AI. You're gonna have ESPN draft your team. You're like, it won't be that bad. I guess it kind of depends what pick.
Bro, they're gonna give me like some dude that's out for like the year.
I don't think
They're gonna draft me Puka. Puka's
Yeah,
gonna
he's
miss the
really
first
good,
couple
though.
weeks though.
Yeah, I guess you gotta win from the beginning.
Exactly, bro. I'm gonna take Aaron Donald.
Please. Please.
I'm projecting he's gonna go to the Rams.
I think he is too, but we don't do defensive players.
Oh, you don't? Nah, he's my quarterback.
Yeah, you got that.
Some do.
I know.
I've never played one that actually does
I haven't
defensive
either.
players.
I don't think it's. I won't do that.
Bro, you're a hater. You offense only?
Yep.
Alright. Well, if you didn't know, I dyed my hair.
It looks good.
Don't lie.
I'm not lying.
Nah, it'll fade. I mean, it's supposed to be like dark brown. It probably looks
Looks
kind of
good.
dark brown in the camera. A little bit. It don't look as black. Probably because I'm wearing a black shirt, though.
I think it looks good.
I appreciate that.
Got you, bro.
Yeah, it looks good.
Manish.
Alright, let's do it. Okay. I'm going to ask you a question. Not basketball related,
Okay.
but it's interesting.
Okay.
Okay, you ready?
I don't know.
If you're stranded on an island, what 5 artists catalogs are you taking?
Lil Skies. I like
no,
Lil Skies.
no, you're not taking Lil Skies, bro.
He's got 3.
All right, you gotta. All right,
He's got 3 bangers
okay,
that I
okay,
listen to like
okay.
every day.
Okay, if you take Lil Skies, then you've got to take 4 really good ones, bro.
No.
Cause I don't. I'm not hating on you for liking Lil Skies. I'm not. Okay, I swear I'm not hating. But
All right, I want to hear your 5.
all right, well, 1, you gotta take Drake because with Drake you can get literally rap, R&B. You can get like you got all of his features. It's like you can get like one Rihanna song. You can get like a ton of freaking 21 Savage songs. Like so you got like features too. So you got a little bit of everything. And he's got like a huge ass catalog. Like if you went through Drake's catalog, like it'd take you days. Especially if you went nonstop.
Mm-hmm.
See what I did there?
Yeah, nonstop. His song.
Okay.
That was actually pretty good.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
So like with Drake, you kind of have like the in between. I feel like that I think I'm gonna go in like categories. So like I'm only taking one rapper. I'm only taking like one like R&B artist. I'm only taking like one country artist. Like I'm gonna take the genres I listen to, obviously. But I think that's the way to do it. Cause like you never know what you're feeling that day. So like for country, I'd probably either take Rascal Flatts or Morgan Wallen.
I like Rascal Flatts pick right there.
Yeah, you like that?
Carl.
I'll take Rascal Flatts. I like Morgan Wallen too. But yeah, well, so Rascal Flatts, Drake. Let's see. Who else I want? I might take a little bit of R&B. I might take Neo. Neo's good as fuck. You know who Neo is?
Like, barely.
And
But, like, I
just
know a few
can't
songs.
pull myself away. That
Like,
song? You know
sing
that
it
song?
on the pod now.
Yeah. Actually, I'm making a song.
Really?
I dead ass am. I'm like bored as hell. I'm going back to school. And I have a couple songs written. I make a little bit of music. So
I
I'm
can
going to
sing
start
them.
producing it.
I'll
Huh?
sing them.
You'll sing them? Alright, bet. I'll produce it, I'll sing it, or I'll write it. I already have them wrote. I have like 5 or 6 songs wrote that are like really good, that are like flesh. And then I'm gonna take my sweet time for sure, because I'm gonna try to make it like actually kind of good. And then, and it's like a side hobby. It's like I'll double dabble with it maybe like once a month. But yeah, I've had songs written though for like years now.
I had no idea about this, if I go lie.
No.
Not a clue.
It's under the radar. It's under the
It
radar.
is.
But I can low-key kind of sing. My family's really good singers. Like my sister, when she was younger, she qualified for state for like a singing thing for like the fair. My uncle and my cousin came together one time when they were a little younger, and because they're they're not around the same age, but one's like 15 years older. It's not that much, and they have an album. And they ain't bad actually. And then the rest, like my other half of the family, they're all in church choir and stuff. Like so, my family's actually really good singers. I'm decent. I'm not gonna say I'm as good as most of them, but I am creative. So.
It's valid.
But I said Drake, Rascal Flatts. I know that's like 2 really weird ones. Neo. Shoot. Should I take another rapper just
I
cause?
probably would.
Yeah, just cause you know what I mean.
I agree with your Drake pick, so I'd have to go Lil Skies. I'd go Drake. I'd probably go Morgan Wallen.
Okay.
I'm a big Morgan Wallen guy. Juice World. I can sing Juice WRLD songs probably the
Do
best.
we go sad? Do we go sad though?
No, it's
I mean,
not
if
even
I'm
sad, but
if
like
I'm stranded on an island though, I might want some sad songs.
Yeah, but at the same time, like they're not all sad. Like
A lot of them
sometimes
are
I vibe. Like yeah, they're sad, but like I vibe to them, and like sometimes like when I know the words to the song, and I'm like rapping it. Sometimes it gets me hype. It's not even crazy to say.
No, I like Juice.
Dude,
but who would I pick?
And last,
If I picked a rap, I'd say J. Cole. Like 1,000. I might take J. Cole over Drake. I ain't gonna lie, J. Cole. I love J. Cole.
that's not bad.
J. Cole a lyricist. That's what people don't understand. A lot of people nowadays like they be hating, like, because they don't understand the lyricist.
I'd probably go AC/DC to round it off.
Really?
Sometimes you need rock.
Okay.
And to be honest with you, I've been listening to my dad's music more than ever.
He listens to AC/DC?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
So does my dad.
So I might have to go
That's not
AC/DC because I do listen to it in the morning when I like work every day at like 5 a.m. I'd listen to AC/DC from like 5 to 7.
I'll expose myself. I'll tell you my top 10 artists for this year so far, if I can find it. And I'll deadass expose myself because I'm like the weirdest person. Oh, Why Don't We? One of the best boy bands of all time. So I gotta get that out of the way. And then probably for my 5th, I said J. Cole, Neo. Oh, that's 5. J. Cole, Neo, Drake, Rascal Flatts, and Why Don't We? 100%. I'd do that. Oh, I don't even have it downloaded anymore. You can look at your stats on Spotify, can't you? Do you have Spotify?
Nope. And if I did, it'd be on there, so I can't really use it.
Yeah, I'll expose myself. Listening stats. Last week it was Olivia Rodrigo. But that's because I was mowing and she had played one song and I said a repeat and then it just stayed with her catalog. And like it was in my butt pocket, so I couldn't change it. The week before that was Jack Harlow.
Oh.
I do fuck with Jack Harlow. And the week before that was Drake. And Insomnia, which is a really like depressing. Drake the week before that. Iman Shumpert's got some bangers. I ain't gonna lie, bro. If I'm gonna put you on, I'm gonna put you on. Iman, period. If you listen, try it.
I will.
Have you ever listened to Oladipo songs?
Like I went on like a week stretch. Just cause Oladipo, like
he
I'm
can sing.
I haven't really listened to that.
Like I'm not gonna say I sit there and listen to Oladipo songs because I don't listen to Iman Shumpert songs. I was just seeing what it was, but like let's see. I think I might have one even on my playlist. I got a couple. It took 4 years, 3 months, 2 weeks, and a Sunday.
All right. Well,
That's
anyways, guys.
Yep.
Peace out.
Peace.
Till next time.